Welcome to the Hooked Pod. I'm Chunk.
And I'm the Chippy. And today on the Hooked Pod, we've got an old friend of mine from the school days, Tony Thwin. I've heard that Tony is a bit of a squid expert, but we want to hear the whole story, Tony, of how it all started for you back from our schooling days and how you got into fishing and what you've been up to.
Yeah, I don't know. I was always into fishing, and then my father, right, he was a fisherman as well, and so I used to dream and live fishing. Growing up in Cloverdale, we were quite poor, so I'd go to the news agency, and every couple of months he'd throw away all the fishing magazines. And the stories I read, because I was so fascinated, but it was the adverts that got me.
Yep.
And the adverts were, well, I didn't realize, but it was teaching me about the products that were coming, right? So I wanted all the latest things. And like car lovers, they would read all the technical jargon and everything like that because they loved it so much.
Yeah.
And that was the same for me. I'll be reading adverts about this and that because the adverts were teaching you how to use products and things, right? Not knowing that was my education for what I'd be doing later on in life.
Mm. And how did you get these products, mate? Did you have a little job or something where you could afford to go fishing?
Yeah, basically what I did was I got a little part-time job, 3-4 days a week during the school holidays as a relief guy. Yeah, and then from there just snowball.
Yep.
And then after I left school, I realised I didn't want to study anymore.
So you were fishing in the Swan River at that time?
Oh, yeah. And that was, and it's because that's the only place I could get to on my pushy.
Yeah,
That's to ride about 6-7 Ks to get to the river.
Yeah. That's good.
And you're obviously catching brim and fish like that in the Swan?
Well, yeah, I did. And basically that's how I gained a little bit of a name. But this is well before social media. And, like we're looking at between 1980 and 85.
Yeah.
And basically it was just a newspaper, right? And one day I met Mike Roenfeld.
Yep.
Right, he came into the shop and he had that fishing column on the Friday West Australian.
Yep.
And eventually, he found out where I was. So I'd give him a fish report about what was happening in the river. Yeah, and it just grew from there. And then because of me virtually living on the river, I got to see or feel and see what the fish were doing. And so I'd go to a particular spot, it doesn't look that good, and then move on.
Yeah.
But unbeknownst to me, what I was looking for was signs of bait fish, like little bony herring, little mullet, and without them around. At first, I didn't know why I didn't like this particular spot or move on, but it was because of that. And I realised that the brim, the mulloway, they were all chasing those little bony herring and little mullet.
Yeah, so that dictated what you were going to use to catch them with?
That's exactly right.
Learning to read the water at such a young age.
Yeah. And plus, every Friday, and in those days, Friday, guys would go finish work at 5 and they go to the local, have a few drinks, and then they go home. But Friday was traditionally always a fish and chip night. And so what I'd do is I'd catch a few fish, brim and whatever, fillet them from a newspaper and stand outside the cute old pub, and as the guys coming through,
No way.
sell them a packet of, sell them a couple of fillets.
You try to steal my business, mate.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I hope you were certified by the council, were you, mate, to be doing things like that?
Yeah. 1983, mate. So it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right, and so it's not so bad that the fish and chip shop. So these guys would buy the fish from me and then take it down, and the guys would buy 50 cents chips and ask if they could fry the fish. And so the chippy came up to me. The chippy came up to me and said, "Hey, listen, the fish that you're selling these guys, sell it to me.
Yep.
And I'll take everything you got."
Yep.
And that's how I bought a bit of my fishing tackle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how old were you when you were selling fish to a chippy?
Oh, well, no, I started probably at about 15, 16.
Yeah.
A young entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that got me enough money to buy my line, my hooks, my sinkers.
Yeah.
Things have changed a bit over the years with tackle, mate.
I've seen every single change, right? I remember the very first braid that came out. I remember the very first fluorocarbon that came out was made by Suffix. And
Yep.
Suffolk's fluorocarbon, which we still sell now, is probably still my favourite of all the fluorocarbons. And at that time, I was a sales rep, and we were selling a 20-metre spool of 80-pound fluorocarbon. It cost the shops about $55
Wow.
plus 22% sales tax.
Oh my.
That's how expensive it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the rep gave me a spool to try, and we went out to the fads chasing mahi. And it was one of these days where the water, there wasn't a gust of breeze, and the only movement we got was from the Luan Current from north to south. And I was the only one catching mahi. And it got ridiculous. Every pass, it was like we had live squid, live herring, fresh pilchard,
Yep.
right? But they weren't hitting anything. And then I was the only one hooking them. And so I said, come on, boys. And this fluorocarbon was the most amazing thing. And so it was so amazing that it was 7-0, and there were 3 other blokes on the boat. Until one of the guys goes, give me your rod, you're cheating.
Imagine the banter on the boat.
You were cheating because you were using something you knew that was going to work, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was like, so they started calling cheating trace.
When you were in the tackle store when you were a young fella, how did you get into becoming a rep?
All right, okay. So I was I worked at Big Park Tackle, and then they opened up another shop in Cambridge Street called Cambridge Street Tackle.
Yep.
Right, so at Cambridge Street Tackle, the reps would come in, and basically, and now I'm about 19 or 20.
Yeah.
And so the reps would come in, and I'd meet them, and then one of them absolutely said, "Oh, listen, Tones, if you want to get out of it, there's a position open in the warehouse." Right, and I was getting sick of working the 13 or 14 hours on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And then Saturday trading went to full days.
Didn't have any time to go fishing, mate.
No, that was it. That was exactly it. That was exactly right.
Yep.
Yeah, so Monday to Friday in the warehouse, I thought that was brilliant. And so I worked in the warehouse for about 4 months, started talking to people on the phone, started selling to the people, to all the retailers all around Western Australia.
Yep.
And I got to know them quite well. And every time new products would come in, I'd ring them and say, hey, listen, this is new product. This is what you'd sell it for, just explain to them.
And you'd be out using that stuff as well, so you could really let them know?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and there was very few sales reps fished at that time.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and as a fisherman, I knew how good or bad a product was. And so the boss said, hey, listen, and one of our reps absolutely hurt his back really badly, and he'd be out for about 8 months. So he said, look, you want to take over and see how you go?
Yep.
And then, from the very first week. And I never used to sell. You know how some used car salesmen, they use every tactic?
Yeah.
All my tactic was I knew the product so well that I would tell them about the product and then basically teach them how to sell something in their area.
Yeah.
Right? Because I used to fish everywhere I went.
Yep.
Right? Like
different tackle shops all up and
Alvin.
down the coast and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I used to teach the retailers how to sell a product to their customers.
Yeah, to their particular fishermen catching particular fish. Yeah, that's right. Yep. So if you're in Exmouth, you'd need to be catching marlin and stuff like that.
Yes, and that came in too, right? Because that was every fisherman from the age of 8 or 9 when they understood what fishing is. That's their dream, to catch a marlin.
Yeah.
And so I had that dream as well, right? And then as I was coming up, right, and then you just gravitate to that, right? To buying marlin lures, all the reels, and then when I was in the shop, I was a rod builder at any rate, so I'd built up custom rods for trolling for 24 kilos, 37 kilos.
Yep.
And then I was a pen rep. So Bembo, who I used to work for, we were the largest importers of fishing tackle in WA. And we were also the Jarvis Walker pen agents. So the pen internationals, right? I had 2 of each. I had 2 of each of these big game reels, and I love rigging the baits up.
Yeah, it's fascinating fishing, isn't it?
Oh, no, it's incredible. There's more to marlin fishing than just chucking out a lure and
Oh,
going
yeah.
for it.
Yeah. You got to throw a Christmas tree out the back of the boat these days too.
Hey, Shane, you're showing your age now. And believe it or not, we still sold those Christmas trees.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's I did GameX about 6 years ago now, and I couldn't believe the stuff you got to throw out the back of the boat. Used to just be a teaser, but now it's half your bloody shed you got to throw out the back now to get a marlin on.
Your brother's one of the best game fishermen up north
Yeah,
for years and years and years.
He loves it too. He if he was going to retire, which I don't know if he ever will, but if he did, I think that's just what he wanted to do: get a good boat and just go marlin fishing because he loves it.
Yeah. Like there were a few Richter lures when Mark Richter actually owned Richter lures.
Yeah,
and he named a couple of lures that your brother Bernie sort of said, okay, look, we need this color. The pink and white skirt Richter lure is Bernie's color. He said this is the best color for sailies and for small blacks.
Yep.
Right? And so that also became one of my favourite lures as well.
Yeah. So have you done quite a bit of fishing up north there?
Yes. You know, growing up, like as soon as I turned 17 and I got my license, my first dream was to go up to Quabba.
Yeah.
Right? Because Steep Point I couldn't get to because I didn't have four-wheel drive.
Yep.
Right. And then so Quabba, you can get there with a four-wheel drive and you can fish a few spots. Right. You can't obviously go to Garts Rock or anything like that because you need a four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But 2 Mile Reef, the Boundary, Whistlers, right, North Wall, South Wall, you can get to all those places with a normal 2-wheel drive. And so that was my first
big adventure.
Yeah. As long as it didn't rattle apart.
No, that's the other thing too, right? I remember going away with spare fan bells, oil.
That's all a part of the adventure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So what have you been? So when you were a rep, what happened then in your fishing world?
Okay, well, obviously everything changed now, and then so I still did a little bit of fishing in the river, but then all of a sudden my marlin dreams came, so I started fishing more and more out of a boat.
Yep.
Right, and then it wasn't until about 1998 when I always liked catching squid, and at that time, right, the very first Japanese squid jig to come into
WA?
Western Australia, or actually into Australia, was a guy by the name of Yoshi Uno, and he had Uno Trading. He was a Japanese teacher at uni at the University of WA.
Yeah, right.
And he was also a fisherman, so he started bringing these squid jigs in. And they were the very first Yozuri Oita squid jigs.
Oh, yeah, I remember them, yeah.
I remember I was earning at that time, and I was 19 then, and I was earning, I think, $65 a week, and that Oita squid jig was $20.
No way.
Right. Yeah. So the squid jig now, a good Yamashita and even a Yozuri squid jig now is $24. So,
wow.
You know, with the inflation, it hasn't increased. Squid jigs have become cheaper.
It sounds like they haven't had much competition, have they?
Well, they've been the same. They've been the same shape for about 400 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Except the Japanese who invented them, they're a little bit cleverer than us. They used to use the coins, all their Japanese coins had holes in the middle. So where the sinker is, right, depending on the depth of water, they'd increase a coin with a pin, right, to increase the weight or take it off if they're in shallower water.
They are smart, aren't they?
But that prawn style jig is the same shape and it's 400 years.
Works well.
So that's what that hole in the weight's for.
Yeah. No, before they had that little, but now all the weights are fixed.
Yeah.
Right, and you can't have adjustable weights. Right, but you can use nose cones to drop them, but that's another story. But from those Yozuri squid jigs from about 1982 till 1987. Now, 1987, young Paul Willis, right, who's the Daiwa agent now, he brought in the very first Harimitsu squid jig.
Yep.
And these Harimitsus had the latest, before the Yozuris had that square block sinker.
Yep.
Right, but these new Harimitsus had a keel sinker, and then they dove, and then there was a sink rate that came along with them as well.
Yeah,
So
right.
my very first squid jig that Paul gave me was and I still remember it clear as day. He gave me two 3.0 Harimitsu. The code is RR, which is red foil with the red skirt over it.
Yep.
And that from the very first cast, so I had two, and I used to fish with one guy, Rob Kinqueenie. So I gave Rob one jig, and I said to Rob, I said, okay, look, use it. And then at that time, they were going to the South Mall, and Rob was saying that there was been about 200 people there. And Rob, and in those days, this was before braid, so they used to use very light lines, 6 and 8 pound, so they can cast out the furthest and the jig sink. So on Rob's first cast, boom, squid on. And then squid on, squid on, squid on. He caught like 13, and then everyone else was catching ones and twos.
200 people watching him, was there?
Oh, yeah. And they were going, what's this? What jig's this? What jig's
Yeah.
this? And I just ordered from Paul, right? I ordered the range. But that squid is still my favourite now, and it's still Rob's favourite now.
Wow.
Yeah. That got you interested into squid, so you do a lot more squidding after that and not fishing so much?
Yeah, no. We did both, right? Because I'm a fisherman as well. So with the squid, we go out, right? If we're going to go, say, to the fans, right?
Yep.
And we want to get their sun up. So I would set my alarm for 1:30 in the morning, so I could be at Rob's at 2:30. So we'd be on the water at 3, catch our squid, 15, 20 squid, put it in the live bait tank, get the herring, and then go.
Way to go.
And so now I only use fresh squid because in the Coburn Sound here, there is so much squid that, like bagging out 30 squid is just not a problem for us.
Yeah. Obviously new equipment's helped a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot. And the braid lines these days, like I don't know if you've seen my favourite latest line is the Daiwa 12 ply.
Yep.
And it's as thin as hair, and it's 16 pounds.
Yeah, right.
Right? It's silky smooth, and it's absolutely beautiful line. Right? So the technology, the line, the rods now, the squid rods, right? So I said to you about marlin fishing and building my rods and this and that. The most expensive rod I've ever bought is it was a company called Breeden from Japan, and they brought out these squid rods called Squid Wicked, and that cost me $1,000
No.
for a squid rod. Right? Of all the game rods and everything I've had, that guy was the most expensive rod I've ever bought.
Yeah, that wasn't when you were earning $60 a week, was it?
No.
No, that's an expensive rod. But have you still got it?
I have. I don't use it very much these days because I bought it for rock fishing off the rocks.
Yeah.
But these days I've built a couple of squid rods, Ozflex, right, for a boat. No one wants to use a 7-foot, 8-foot rod off a boat. So I built a 6-foot rod, and then Ozflex had these blanks, and I thought they'd be perfect. So they're selling, and they call Squidmaster rods.
Yep.
From Ozflex, and they were a 6-foot, perfect for because you don't want a really stiff rod because you want the jig to work, right? You want the jig to shimmer a little bit. So if you have a broomstick and you draw the squid jig up, the jig will just slide straight like an arrow.
Yeah.
Right, but with the softer tip and more parabolic action in the rod, as soon as you draw up, there isn't that much tension. The rod takes a lot of the force, and then just makes the jig slide and shimmer a little bit.
Yep.
And this is why some people catch a lot of squid, and it's purely because of the action of their action and the action of their rod.
Technique.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And that's why you're going to teach people how to do it, aren't you?
Yeah, look, I've taken a few people out on their boats, right? And then a lot of people, right, they haven't been taught, and they've just been with other people. And so a lot of bad habits keep on growing. Like one of the worst things that I've seen is people who, when they drop their sea anchor, they put their sea anchor on the back corner of a boat.
Yep.
Which is the worst place because as you're dragging it backwards, the motor's getting dragged backwards, you can only fish one person, and then it gets dragged underneath the sea anchor. Right, which is,
not
so
ideal.
just little things like that I teach people.
Yep.
right? So when we're going out, and just makes it simpler. So if you put that same sea anchor about a third of the way down the front of the boat, and then turn the steering into the sea anchor, right? So your boat's turning back into the sea anchor. You can fish the whole side of the boat plus the back where the motor is.
Yep.
Yeah, just simple things like that people have never thought about. And when I pointed out, it changes their world.
Makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah. But for us, who know, right? It's nothing, right? But then a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah. Tell us about live bait fishing, mate. A lot of people rely on, lures and new stuff that's coming out, but you got to find out what the fish are eating, don't you?
Yeah, no, that's quite easy to do. Look, lure fishing is a choice that people make. The technology of lures as well has become really, really advanced, right? Like, say, snapper and jewfish, right? Jigging for them with the latest slow pitch jigs.
Yep.
Right, before when the metal jigs first came out, and we were learning from the Japanese, they were all speed jigs. So you have to be young and fit to get these things up, whip the rod up and down, wind, whip it up, wind. But now with these slow pitch jigs, they're shaped so that when you twitch the rod, the jig itself, because of one side's flat and one side's concave, just the natural flow of the water past the lure makes it pitch. Makes it flutter. And then when you let it go and drop it back, it pitches left, pitches right. Yeah, so hence slow pitch jigs.
Yep.
And then the color range as well, like Vex, right? Paul Willis again.
Yep.
Vex has they brought out the bottom meats, which make bait fishing a lot easier for people. And plus, down your way, you can get away with it. But from Augusta up, we can only use one bait per line.
Yep.
Right? You can have 3 or 4 hooks on that bait.
Yep.
Right, but you can only use one bait. Right, so Paul Willie just came in at the right time with the bottom meats, which is basically a ball sinker and a gang hook, but with tinsel. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and so things like that, and then Ocean's Legacy as well. They brought out their slow pitch jigs, which these two are the most popular slow pitch jigs you can get.
Yeah.
And they retail for around about between $24 and $30.
Yep.
But a lot of the younger guys, right, with their lighter rods and slow pitch rods, they enjoy that. But old guys, they like bait.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so with the bait, right, it's always good to use fresh stuff. And then I've, even though I'm in a fishing tackle shop, very rare do the only bait I might take from the shop is scaly mackerel. Right? If I'm bottom fishing, it will be live. We always have live squid, right? And just think Oki as well. Oki is a very, very popular bait. But a lot of people don't realize that if you don't take that skin off and the tentacles, if you soak it in the water, that becomes it's like jelly. The skin becomes jelly. And
right. Yep.
So take the skin off. Just simple things like taking the skin off and using just the white part of the Oki.
The flesh, yeah.
Yeah, the fish, they can smell it. They know it's Oki.
A lot of these lures and that they're using now, you add bait to them, don't you?
Well, that's the bottom meat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my son uses a lot of them and he loves them. But you just put squid on them. Yep.
See, what the bottom meat has done is, because it's 3 snelled hooks together, there's only one way to put the bait on. And so it alleviates people putting 3 or 4 squid, making it like a big lump. So it's teaching people how to present their bait in a streamlined fashion, in the streamlined fashion. Yeah. So it looks more natural in the water.
Educating you without realising it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
What do you like doing now, mate?
Oh, look, I love this time of the year, I still like going out, first of all, always first thing, squid.
Yep.
Either as bait, yeah. And then this time of the year, I like, because at the end of this month, the demersal season closes up here.
Yep.
At the moment, there's still a lot of snapper and that, and I love catching snapper. I don't like eating it that much, but I do like catching them.
Mm.
So I look for ground where I'm most likely to get snapper and yellowtail kingfish, because yellowtail kingfish is my primary target.
Yep.
Basically, we'll find a nice reef, anchor up, burley into that reef, And in that Burley Trail, we're getting such big skippy at the moment as well, right? We're talking like 50, 55 centimetres,
Yeah, wow.
probably about 2 kilos, 2.5 kilos skippy. And that's fantastic fun with micro jigs.
I was just going to ask you, Tony, about Coburn Sound. You were saying you go snapper fishing and that. Do you do much in Coburn?
Coburn Sound, and I cannot believe they're building a marina in there. Coburn Sound is the most precious piece of real estate that we have for recreational, for everything, sailing, fishing, everything,
Well,
diving,
they still
crabbing.
want to put a port in there, don't they?
Yeah, they are. They're going to do it. I don't know how that fragile, that area. It just amazes me. Once that seagrass is gone,
Yeah.
look, we don't fish there from August through to December because the snapper are breeding in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once all those limestones and everything goes in, that lime that comes out from those rocks, it takes around about 3 to 5 years. Look at Ocean Reef. Before they redid that marina, we were fishing at Ocean Reef, and once those limestone went in to form the groins and everything like that, there was no fishing, no squidding, right, for about 4 or 5 years because the water's always cloudy, always milky, and that lime, I don't think anything likes it.
No, not at all.
Right, so if that happens in the Coburn Sound,
there won't be a Coburn Sound fishery.
Yeah, it's the most safest place that you can go, right? The marinas are quite close. That body of water is so safe and so good for fathers to take their kids. There's no swell. There's Garden Island, Karnak Island, the stragglers protect the swells coming in.
Yeah. We used to always launch out of there, and we were actually just sitting in the probably about 300 metres off the launch ramp one day, and we were catching salmon, and we couldn't. We had to stop fishing and continue out. There was that many salmon there. So it gets everything in there, doesn't it?
No, it does. Like this time of the year, there are not last Sunday, Sunday before. I went out, and then we were at there's a hot water outlet, right? We were around there, and then we just using micro jigs.
Yeah,
right. 20-gram micro jigs, and there was snapper. Right. Unfortunately, it was a small school. Probably around about 60 centimetres, to about between 40 and 60 centimetres. But that was such good fun.
Yeah.
Think about a kilometre from shore.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense that they put marine parks in very small populated areas, but then they're going to put a port in a highly populated area with a good fishery, like you're saying.
Yeah, they're running out of room, that's why.
And crucify the fishery and not protect it.
No, that's exactly right. It's just mind-boggling. What are the greenies? Right?
Yeah.
What are the greenies?
Go put a port somewhere else.
I mean, I can remember many, many years ago catching pink snapper in there, and I mean, that's why it's been protected for 3 months of the year so that we can keep the supply up of pink snapper in there, isn't it?
That's exactly right.
Crabs.
Yeah.
We used to go diving for crabs in there just with a glove on, and we used to have a wow of a time. I mean, that's just things that people want to do every weekend and that.
No, that's right. They've just reopened it. They reopened the Coburn Sound crab season just this year, this December.
Yeah.
And people were loving it, right? They were getting a lot, and they were getting big crabs. And the crabs, the squid, a lot of the fish rely on that seagrass.
Yeah.
And once you start stuffing around and that seagrass is gone, classic example, just that rock wall north of the North Mole. Before they did that, we used to go inside, and there was seagrass everywhere. Seagrass came all the way, and then there is still a lot of seagrass past Leighton, going on to Port Beach, Leighton Beach, and going to Cottesloe. There's a lot of ground there, and that's excellent squid ground.
Yeah.
But the squid ground around the North Mole coming to, it's all gone, because all the seagrass is gone.
Yeah.
Since they put that new section in.
Yeah. When you were saying that you love going out and getting yellowtail kingfish, do you have to go out far from Freo to get yellowtail?
No, not at all. Not at all.
We get a few down here. Right. I love them. What do you do with them?
Yellowtail kingfish, probably you go to Naboo and you get a little slab of about 10 centimetres by 8 centimetre cube, and it's like $55. That's what you do with the yellowtail kingfish.
So you're selling it outside of Naboo now, are you?
standing outside the chippy down there.
Speaking of that, one of my friends, right, he eats at Nobu all the time, so he made friends with the chef.
Yep.
Right, and then one day we dropped him off a small yellowtail kingy, probably about 75 centimeters, right? 2 King George, 2 sand whiting, and 2 skippy. And we said, this is just for you, right, to the chef.
Yeah, of course. Not allowed to sell it to him.
He came back and he said he liked the most
What do you like?
the bloody skippy.
Good bread and butter fish, that one, mate.
Yeah.
No, but he has it as sashimi, and he says it's the most beautiful sashimi you can have. I'm going, are you dreaming?
Maybe he'd been on the, what's the sake or something made in there.
The sake.
Yeah. No, we like it too. I mean, I get it in the shop down here. You know, guys go out, catch 300 kilos. You might only get 1 or 2 if you're lucky, but I really enjoy them. They're not that easy to sell because they're dark flesh and, you know, I'm not a chef, so we don't cook it up that way. We're just a fish and chip business, but I like eating it, so I just use it myself a lot of the time. And we do sell it, you know, as fish and chips, but it's not everyone's cup of tea.
No, it's a bit of a strong flavoured one, isn't it?
Yeah. I think you have to be a little bit talented to cook it, but if you know what you're doing, you can do a good job.
Yeah, but yellowtail kingy, to cook it is criminal.
Now that they don't shark fish out of Perth waters, what's it been like sharky-wise? It's very sharky up north, and has it changed much around Perth?
Until about 10 years ago, I never, ever lost any fish to a shark.
Yeah.
And now you go pull a pot and there'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm not talking about white pointers or tiger sharks.
No, just little.
The bronzies.
Yep.
Just the bronzies. And these little bronzies are around about 2.5, 3 meters.
Yep.
And there'd be about 5 or 6 chasing every pot up.
Yeah.
So the sharks, hammerheads, you can catch and I don't know where the big hammerheads are, but we catch a lot of 1 meter, you know, hammerheads.
Yep.
Smaller, maybe, but
there's a lot of them down here as well.
There's a lot of them up here as well.
Yeah, so that's why stopping shark fishing has sort of increased your rate of capture of them and also losing fish, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, but the swimming public are so lucky that for the last 10, 15 years, the amount of bait fish, and I think that's because the salmon haven't come up.
No.
Because every time we get a salmon run here, then they wipe the population of blowfish, the yellowtail scads, right, the skippy, the herring, and the scalies. Since we haven't had a good run of salmon up here, well, there's been tons and tons and tons of scalies everywhere, and I think that's the sharks are feeding on that.
When was the last time you've had a good salmon run up there?
About 10 years ago.
That was like the year that we went berserk on the North Mole. The year before I came down here, we had so much fun there, and they were in the river, weren't they? So that was
they were right up as far as Point Walter Jetty.
That's right. Yeah, we were talking to Scott Coughlin about this the other week, and he can remember it. But I remember I had my 3 daughters down on the Rouse Head, and we couldn't believe how many salmon there were. It was just ridiculous. But so there hasn't been much of a run since then, eh?
No. And I think the lawn current's been very, very strong for those days. And so, like, even this season, right? Even the season that went past, right? The salmon came up. Shane's Beach was the first thing, you know, you see YouTube videos where there's thousands of them.
Yeah.
And they came past Albany. They went past Denmark. They came up. They just briefly hit Dunsborough. And then that's it.
Yep. Didn't go any further.
No more. Yeah. A few fish reported in Bunbury, but that's it.
Yeah.
So they must be heading, because the lawn current comes around and swings around, right, the Cape Naturalist.
Yep.
And so from there, I think they just shoot up. They just shoot right out to sea.
Yeah.
And God knows where they go.
Yeah. What are you doing next, mate, now that you're closing down AFW?
All right. Yeah, you know, in my declining years there, Chippy.
Oh, you're only a bloody young fella.
I'll be doing
you're older than me.
I'll be doing rod repairs, right, for a lot of the tackle shops, because apparently there's only one rod repairer. And so, and then with that, and then also Marco and I will be looking at a boat next next week as a charter boat. And so we'll be doing, so we've just got to work out with fisheries the licenses.
Yep.
At the moment, you can only have 30 squid per boat. Right. So
Right.
this boat that we're looking at, it's surveyed for 12 fishermen and 2 crew, right? Skipper and a decky.
Yeah.
So which is perfect for us, right? And then the whiting is not a problem, right? And we'll be doing squid and whiting charters
Yep.
out of Fremantle,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
which I think will be a boon for the tourism because so many tourists come in our shop and they said, look, we just want to do a quick charter. Is there any? And there is only basically 1 or 2 charters, and I think they're around about $280.
Yeah.
Ours, after we work it out, I think ours will be roughly around 100, 120,
Yep.
right? And then there'll be the squid, and then and also I'll be just on the side. I'll be just doing a like a consultancy, right? Say you're having trouble catching fish, then you'll hire me as a consultant. I'll come on your boat. Yeah, like as an example, one of our really, really good customers, he bought a boat that was like $270,000. He put $40,000 worth of electronics, and in 6 months, his biggest catch was 12 herring.
No. 12.
Yeah, see, the poor guy. No, poor guy. And he fished every
Oh.
weekend. And to catch a squid on his boat was would have been a dream come true for him.
Yeah, right.
I felt sorry for him. So I said, listen, look, my plans have fallen through. If you want, I can come on the boat and let's see what you're doing wrong. And he said, Tone, I've got all the spots that you gave me. I've got it in my sounder, but then I get there and then we just don't seem to catch anything. And it's known for, and he's a very intelligent man.
Yeah.
But he says, but once I'm out on the boat, everything goes out of my brain. I've just become a blank and just do whatever. Right. So when I went after him, the first thing I said, okay, let's go to that spot where we go for squid on middle ground. He just drove straight there, irrespective of where the wind's coming from or anything. Stop. His son fishing on the left-hand side of the boat. He's fishing on the right-hand side of the boat. And the boats, the easterly winds caught the canopy of the boat and is pushing it down. So both the squid jigs come to the motor and get tangled.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, okay. So basically, I taught him how to set a sea anchor. I taught him what to look for ground-wise on a sounder, what he's actually looking at.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, and just basically how to position his boat and then how to fish for squid. Within about half an hour, we'd caught about 10 squid. I said, that's enough. We just need it for live bait.
Yeah.
He didn't know he had a live bait tank. He thought that his live bait tank was the sink for the fresh water hose on the American boats.
Oh.
Or an esky to put your cans in or something there.
Oh, gosh.
Right? And then we were lucky enough that day, right? We were lucky enough that once we anchored, burleyed up, I put a live squid out under a balloon. I put a live herring out. And then he came up to me, he goes, Tony, this is the most we've ever caught.
And
Right? Just a herring and the squid.
Yeah, he would have been
And
having
then
the best
as
day
luck
ever.
would happen, I was very lucky, right? We hooked a couple of, I think I showed you the photos, right? His son caught a yellowtail kingy first, and then he caught one, and then we got snapper. And I
Yep.
said, okay, look, this is how easy it is. Let's pull anchor. Let's go catch some whiting, right? So we went to the whiting grounds, and we got our 30 whiting each. And then we were back on the marina by about lunchtime.
Yeah.
You're a fishing guide, mate. That's what we need more of, because I was talking to someone about this the other day, how promoting West Australian fishing is such something that isn't done much, but people like you who have got all, the interest and you've had years of experience can actually teach people who spend a lot of money on boats or a lot of money on holidays to come here who don't know how to do these things. And I think there is a good market for it.
Yeah, I think so too. And then, especially our squid charters, people would love, right, to just go out and catch squid.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a lot of, I know the amount of squid jigs that we sell.
Yeah.
Right. And we are, and Anglers Fishing World was the largest seller of squid jigs in the whole of WA. Right. You put any 6 stores together, we would sell more than all of them combined.
Yeah.
Right? And this is coming from the wholesalers, right? This is how big our squid market was, right? And so a lot of people, they spend a lot of money. And squid people, they'll come in, they'll spend $30, $50, $60 on squid jigs. and you start off with 5 or 6 squid jigs. And one of my customers, he goes, "I've got over 500 squid jigs now." And I told him from the very first time, yeah. But then if I go competition squid, now I can do squid comps.
Yeah.
Now you wait.
Yeah.
And so when I go, I'll have about 300 or 400 jigs that I'll take with me.
Wow. You need a suitcase.
Yeah.
I'll take on about 13 or 14 tackle boxes with squid jigs for different sizes, different depths, different, yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about squid, just tell us about their life cycle. And because there's so many around, what's the story with why we have so many squid?
Okay. Well, it's just predominantly squid are the only creatures that you can find. I'm just talking locally now, right?
Yeah.
That you can find at Point Walter Jetty all the way through to 5,000 metres.
Yeah, wow.
They are the most abundant of any creature by 2/3, right? They grow fast.
Yep.
They breed a lot. Each squid lays something in estimates of 2 or 3 million eggs.
Wow.
As soon as they hatch, it's survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
Because the closest things that they can feed on is their siblings.
Yeah.
So one will latch onto, another will come in, and then the more they eat, the quicker they grow, the more they eat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? And so they first start living on their siblings. They'll be feeding on their siblings until they get big enough, and they start, on little crustaceans, little prawns, and things like that, and they grow quick. So their life cycle from the day they're born to when they die is estimated to be only about 18 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
And so the big squid that you catch, right, the really big ones, are the ones that are fed the quickest from the day they were born.
Aggressive ones.
Right, and that's it. And they're the most abundant of all things.
Yeah.
Right? It's incredible.
Yeah.
I seen you once on TV. You were cooking up a bit of squid. There was a young lady on there who said she was going to marry you.
She's such a lovely lady.
Has
yeah.
has
was
that
good.
ex-footballer still got a wife or not?
Yeah, she's lovely. She's not like that.
Talking about
Such a lovely lady.
Danny Shuey, yeah?
Yeah. Lovely lady.
Is that your favourite way of cooking squid?
Oh, that's the easiest way. And I think everyone, everyone has sweet, salt and pepper and this and that. But my way, with the tom yum paste, with the basil flavour, the Thai spices, right? Just a little bit unusual.
Yep.
She loved it. She ate like 3 bowls.
Well, people have a lot of trouble cooking it and it doesn't get tender. What's your secret?
Just hot pan.
Yep.
Tuck it in. Toss it, count to 30, take it off the heat, leave it in the pan, and just keep tossing it.
Yep.
And then the squid will go from opaque to white.
Yep.
And then that's it. Because you got to remember, the heat on the flesh of the squid is still cooking it, right? So it's just count to 30, manually count to 30 when it's on hot, take it off the heat, swirl it around. Right, keep tossing it, let more air in, let it cool down a bit, and then it'll cook in the heat, in the retaining heat. And then that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
It cooks quick, doesn't it?
It does.
I think that's might be about it.
Oh,
You probably got 5 million stories to be able to tell us. Have you got a story where it was a bit dodgy out in the boat one day and you're lucky to get home or anything like that?
Oh, X-mouth.
X-Mail. Go on, tell us what happened.
X-mouth. So it was a little bit windy, right, going out, right? Going from the marina, we launched at the marina and we were in this 30-foot Grady White center console.
Well, they're a nice boat.
Mm.
Yeah, 400 horses on the back.
Is that all?
Right? 200s, right? Yeah, no problems. So we go out with the easterly behind and it's beautiful. So we go around Norwest Reef, turn to go around the southern Murian, and all of a sudden we were in what they call the washing machine.
Yep.
And I thought, oh no. I said, we got to turn and go back. So we started to turn, but we were caught in this washing machine and the easterly was blowing us. And then I couldn't power down because every time you move forward, there'd be a hole in the water. And so the nose would go down and then they had to back up to flick the nose back up. And it took us like 20, 25 minutes to get out.
Wow.
And this walls of water, literally walls of water were coming up at us.
Yeah.
And there was one time there's just holes, water breaking over the front. we were all drenched.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
And the guys thought that they were having a great time, but
You were shitting
I was in
yourself.
fear for my life. I looked to the left, the stern on the left-hand side of the boat, and there's a little wind wave that's just cresting, just creasing over, just ready to break, as there's a wall of water and a hole appearing at the front.
Oh, wow.
So if I slow down, this wave catches up to us
Yeah.
wants us from the back.
Yep.
Right, and if I'm done it, then I'll plow nose straight into this. It took nearly an hour and 40 to get out of it, another hour to get back. Oh, that's the most scared I've ever been.
I always learn off my brother in Coral Bay, you know, going through the South Passage and stuff like that. He's always said one thing. If there's a big wave behind you, there's one in front of you, so get on top of the one in front of you as quick as you can to keep the bastard at the back of you a long way from you.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to have the power to do that. And
that's exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, if there's a big wave behind you, get on top of the one in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's the most. Actually, I love that South Passage, and that's my favorite fishing spot at Coral Bay.
Yeah.
Going out to the South Passage, because that South Passage drops from 7 meters to 40 meters, and it's the only place where we were drifting, and then under the boat at 40 meters water, there were mahi.
Yeah, you can catch it.
Actually under the boat at 40 meters.
It's incredible water up there, isn't it? I mean, when I've been going up there probably every second year for the last, 50 years or 40 years or something. I think I was 17 when I first went up there, and there was nothing there then. But every time you go out, it's like a whale watching adventure. It's every fish you catch, every fish that's out there just about when you go out for the day. It's just so much to do and so many great fishing experiences up there, all the way to Exmouth, obviously, but there's so many different fish you can catch up there, isn't there?
The variety, right? If it wasn't for our wind, right, being so howling easterly in the morning, and a howling southwester, we have the most abundance of any country that I've ever fished in.
Yep.
The most variety, the largest sizes, and the most.
Yep. Mm. We can still go out down here around Breaksea and Michaelmas Island, just out in the harbour here.
Yep.
And, black ass cod, pull up a queenie. I got a gummy just not long ago out here. And then as you're coming in, you can just anchor up in a few metres. King George whiting, go squidding. I mean, the amount of times we've been out squidding just in Princess Royal Harbour and got your bag load. I mean, all up and down the coast. All right, Tony, I'm going to let you get back to your painting. Hang on, we got one question to ask you.
Your most unique food experience, what is it?
Food?
Yeah, most unique.
Any food?
I think it was, I was in Singapore, right? And cobra.
Cobra? Snake?
Yeah, I had a cobra. Oh, beautiful. Snake.
Okay, we haven't had that on before. Very good.
That's different.
How are we cooking that?
Yeah.
One thing I wouldn't do, they take the gallbladder out of the snake and they give it to you as a, as a fertility enhancement.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you have to scull it back. No chance was I going to do that.
You'd rather have a dozen oysters, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Or chemicals.
Yeah. You'd have to be committed to do that.
All right, mate, we must talk again. Thanks very much for being on the pod.
No worries.
Yeah, not a problem, fellas.
Thanks, Tone. Appreciate it.